welcome back to another video. This is my first time ever doing a voiceover, so I'm a little freaked out by it, but I'll get over it. So I don't have any voice equipment either, so if this is a little soft, I apologize. I'm working on getting a microphone. Anyways, in today's video, I just wanted to give you a little peek into making some sourdough bread. So this is my family's favorite bread, and I make this every other week or so, depending on what our needs are. Here I am just mixing about 2 tablespoons of sourdough starter, 1/3 cup of all-purpose organic flour. The organic part isn't as important as making sure that it's unbleached. You cannot use a bleached flour or bleached water, so you must not use tap water unless you're on a well. So you're going to want like spring water or distilled water if you don't have access to those, to something that's not bleached. And then I add about 2 tablespoons of water. We have a spring, so that's what I'm using here. If you don't have spring water or distilled water, you can use tap water. You just need to let it sit out overnight so that the bleach in it, so that the chlorine in it dissipates. If you used bleached flour or bleached water, you will kill the organisms and the yeast in your starter, which make your bread rise. And you don't want to do that. So here I'm just testing. You want this dough like a biscuit dough. So you want it real stiff and not real runny, because you want it to rise and hold its shape. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water here, like just a few drops. You can see it's a little too dry. You want it like kneadable, but not super sticky. So once you've got that right, almost biscuit-like consistency, then your sourdough starter is ready to be put into a little oiled container. I really like these glass Pyrex containers, the 2-cup ones. We buy them in like bulk because we go through them. They're just super convenient for mixing and leftovers and everything else you could think of. So I'm just going to go through that whole process again. I'm making 4 loaves here. That'll get us through 2 weeks or so. So I'm just using this, I think this is a cookie scoop, but it measures out almost 2 tablespoons pretty perfectly. And it's got a long handle, so I don't have to get my hands all full of sticky sourdough starter. So I keep a big jar of discard in the fridge when I'm not growing a starter, but this that you see me take out of that jar is starter that I've grown into the big jar. So I keep a small little jar of starter in the fridge at all times, and then I split it, and then I bake with what I split off of that starter. And I'll replenish it from time to time depending on how often I'm using it. These days I'm only baking once every other week or so. So I'm just redoing that whole process again. So about 2 tablespoons of starter, 1/3 cup of organic all-purpose unbleached flour, and about 2 tablespoons of water. And then I put it in a glass Pyrex. And then cutscene, because I had to clean up the counter. Now I'm just transferring what was left in the starter in my growing jar into the discard jar, which is now almost full. And I will keep that discard jar in the fridge until I'm ready to make some pancakes or waffles or something that doesn't require a whole lot of rising. So our favorite is sourdough pancakes, but you can make crackers, you can make cookies, really anything that calls for dough you can use your discard for. And I just keep that discard in the fridge, and there it lives until the jar is full and I'm ready to use it for something. And now I'm going to just spray the tops of these with a little bit of avocado oil. Because I use a stiff sourdough starter, I don't want them to get dry. I put an airtight lid on them. And then they will rest for about 6 hours or until they're doubled. By that time, the lids usually pop off. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.